Below is a sample of weekly bonuses earned at a local accounting firm. Use Excel to find the mean, median, mode, and standard deviation. So we have ourselves 14 data points. The first thing I'm going to do is put them in a vertical line because to me it's just easier when I'm using formulas in Excel. So I took my 14 values and I put them in a vertical column. You want to make sure you have the same number and that they are the correct numbers. So if you're going to move them around, I use copy and paste in Excel, right? So you can just Control C for copy, and then you can move them anywhere you want, right? Okay, so I put them in a document, and I now want to find the mean, median, mode, and standard deviation. So if I want the mean to show up in this box, I click on whatever cell I want to put it in. So the cell G3 that is green outlined, I guess, is where the value of my mean is going to go. So I go to formulas, and the mean, median, mode, and standard deviation are all statistical functions. So I'm going to go to more functions, statistical, and the mean is also known as the average. So I'm going to click on average. Now you can see it automatically throws in some cell references, but you want to make sure you get the correct one. So I'm going to go over to my vertical column, and I'm going to click on 147, and I'm going to drag all the way down so that it includes all of my data. So you can see the new cell reference here are A1 to A14. And they are in a nice circulating box, which is also nice. It shows you what values you're using. And I'm simply going to click OK, and it spits out my mean. Now, if I want this to be to a certain decimal point, which I don't think I have on here, but in Excel, you see on this front page under General, these numbers, you can move how many decimal points your number goes out to. So obviously, we don't want anything that big, but if I want to go to the nearest hundredth, I can just move it down until it has 2 decimal points, and it will automatically round for you. So it's just a matter of using these little buttons here that move your decimal to the left and to the right. And you can see as I move it, the numbers change because it rounds, right? It's kind of cool. So I play with that. Now let's go to the median. Again, I go to formulas, more functions, statistical, and they're in alphabetical order. So I'm going to go down to the median, click. Now again, it gives me certain things, but I'm going to go and I'm going to highlight all the values in my data set and hit enter or OK. My median is 150. I do the same for the mode, right? So I go to more functions, statistical, go all the way down to the M's, and I find mode. Now you see you have mode mult and mode single. So multiple, it gives, you can see where the definition here, it says returns a vertical array of the most frequently occurring or repetitive values. Well, here's the thing. We only want one, right? We want to know the mode, one mode, what number appears the most often. So you're going to use mode single. And again, we're going to highlight all of our data points and hit enter. Now, 150 is the one that appears the most often. If you do not have a mode, it will come back and it will look like this. Okay, it'll give you an NA if they're, because it's not available, right? Or not applicable, depending on how you want to view that. Okay, and the last one is the standard deviation. So again, more function, statistical. I'm going to go down to StatDev. Now, with the StatDev, you see there is a P and an S. The P stands for population. The S stands for sample. A population is when you have all the data. How often is it that we're going to have all the data? Not very. Usually when we're dealing with statistical methods, we are dealing with a sample, right? Part of the population. If you're trying to talk to adults in Indiana, there's no way you can talk to all of them, but you could talk to 50 of them, right? So you would usually play with a sample. So for our case, we want to use StatDev.S, the standard deviation of a sample. So I click the S, and again, I highlight my data set, hit enter, and there's my standard deviation. Again, if you want to round to the nearest hundredth, you click on these little arrows here, depending on which way you want to go. Hundredths is 2 decimal places, and there's my standard deviation. So there's the mean, median, mode, and standard deviation of our accounting firm data set.